Hey everyone, welcome back to Digital Gold. I'm your host. And if you're into cryptocurrencies, traditional markets, or just making sense of this wild financial world, you're in the right place. Today, we've got a packed episode diving into the latest news shaking up both the crypto space and the traditional markets as of. From GameStop, jumping on the Bitcoin bandwagon, to Wall Street riding tariff roller coasters. There's a lot to unpack. So, grab your coffee or your energy drink if you're a night owl like me, and let's get into it. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Alright, here we go. Let's kick things off with some massive news in the crypto world. If you've been following the markets this week, you've probably heard the buzz about GameStop. Yep, the same GameStop that sparked the meme stock craze back in 2021 is now making waves in crypto. On Tuesday, March 25th, the struggling video game retailer dropped a bombshell. They're adding Bitcoin to their treasury reserve. That's right, GameStop is betting big on the world's largest cryptocurrency to diversify its holdings and, frankly, to try and turn around its flagging business. This announcement came after the closing bell, and the stock popped in after hours trading. Analysts are drawing parallels to MicroStrategy. Sorry, I mean strategy, which has been hoarding over 447,000 Bitcoin and turned itself into a Bitcoin proxy. Wedbush analyst Michael Pachter even said, GameStop's strategy has changed 6 times in 3 years, and now they're going all in on crypto like MicroStrategy. What do you think? Smart pivot or desperate Hail Mary? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Speaking of Bitcoin, it's been a choppy ride lately. After hitting post-election highs earlier this year, BTC is down from those peaks and looks set to close Q1 2025 in the red. As of today, March 26th, Bitcoin is hovering around $86,000, according to posts on X and market trackers. That's a decent rebound from earlier this week when it broke that $86,000 resistance level. Some analysts, like Bitcoiner's Chris Klein, say we could see peaks coming later in 2025, especially with the Trump administration pushing a pro-crypto agenda. More on that in a sec. But first, altcoins are also stirring. XRP, Solana, and others are showing signs of life after a rough stretch, possibly buoyed by optimism around regulatory shifts. Keep an eye on those. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say, the White House. President Donald Trump's influence on both crypto and traditional markets is impossible to ignore right now. Earlier this month, Trump announced plans for a strategic Bitcoin reserve and a US digital asset stockpile, which would include not just BTC but also Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. This has crypto enthusiasts buzzing, especially after his administration hinted this week at a narrower approach to tariffs than expected. Reports on Monday, March 24th suggested Trump's Liberation Day tariff plan, set to kick off April 2nd, might target specific industries rather than blanket hikes. Crypto markets loved that news, with Bitcoin jumping on Monday, per Fortune Crypto. Why? Because broad tariffs were spooking investors, pushing them away from risky assets like crypto. A more measured policy could mean a green light for bulls. But it's not just crypto feeling the tariff vibes. Traditional markets are on a roller coaster too. On Tuesday, March 25th, Wall Street stocks ended higher, with the S&P 500 and Nasdaq building on Monday's gains. Apple climbed, Tesla surged late to extend its rally, and chip stocks like AMD jumped over 6% after reports that Trump might ease tariffs on cars and semiconductors. Reuters noted the S&P 500 is still down about 2% year to date, weighed by tariff-driven inflation fears, but it's clawing back from a 6% drop since its February high. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury yield hit a 2025 low this week, which should boost stocks by making bonds less attractive, but growth concerns are keeping things dicey. S&P Global's latest data pegs US GDP grow at just 1.5% annualized for Q1, down from 2.3% in Q4 2024. Slowing momentum, huh? We'll see how that plays out. Back to crypto. There's more regulatory heat brewing. The SEC held a crypto task force roundtable on Friday, March 21st, to debate how securities laws apply to digital assets. This comes as Trump pushes for a regulatory revamp, including that strategic reserve idea. Some SEC folks, like Commissioner Caroline Crenshaw, are worried about loosening rules too much, warning it could weaken protections across markets. But here's a win for the crypto crowd. The SEC officially dropped its 4-year lawsuit against Ripple this week, per CNBC. That's a huge victory for XRP holders and a sign that the regulatory tide might be turning. Oh, and get this, Tornado Cash addresses got removed from OFAC sanctions, and Coinbase is rumored to be eyeing a buyout of Terabit. Big moves. Shifting gears to traditional markets, let's talk earnings and corporate drama. KB Home tanked over 6% on Tuesday after slashing its 2025 revenue forecast, blaming tariffs and softer consumer confidence, which hit a 4-year low of 92.9 in March, per Reuters. Nike's also in the dumps, down 16.8% this month after guiding for a mid-teen sales drop in Q4, way worse than Wall Street expected. Meanwhile, FedEx slashed its 2025 outlook, and HP warned about China tariffs dragging profits. Tough times for some old-school giants. On the flip side, Tesla's riding high after teasing its 2025 robotaxi launch, and Trump Media and Technology Group soared after partnering with Crypto.com for ETFs. Crypto and stocks colliding. Love to see it. One more crypto nugget before we wrap. Binance is making headlines. CEO Richard Teng called Trump fantastic for crypto, and there's chatter about the Trump family taking a stake in the exchange. Bloomberg also reported that Binance might team up with Trump-linked World Liberty Financial for a dollar-pegged stablecoin. If that happens, it's a game-changer for stablecoin adoption. But let's keep it real. Posts from analysts like CryptoQuants Unchained are warning about misinformation in the market. Trust data, not noise, they say. And I couldn't agree more. Always Dior, folks. Alright, that's the rundown for from GameStop's Bitcoin pivots to tariff twists and regulatory wins. It's a wild time in both crypto and traditional markets. What's your take? Are we heading for a bull run, or is this just a breather before more chaos? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and share it with your crypto crew. We're here every breaking it all down, so hit subscribe and stay tuned for more digital gold. Until next time, keep stacking those sats, or stocks, if that's your vibe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.